I've been at this for almost 10 years already, and it hasn't done my physical health, my mental health, or just me in general any good, and I've decided that it's time that I quit. Before we get too much further into this video, if topics about like, depression, anxiety, or addictions, or anything like that in general triggers you, then I do highly advise that you click away, because this video is going to be chock full of that. I don't even know where to begin with this video. This is a video where there's actually like 10 minutes of just raw footage of me sitting here staring at the camera, because I honestly didn't even know how to start this video, what to talk about in this video, so the only way to really get started is to just start talking. I'm an addict. So where do we begin with all of this? So I guess, I don't know, there's like a laundry list of addictions that I've had in the past, so I guess we could start with that, whether it be nicotine, alcohol, just drugs in general. We're not going to go into specific names just due to the fact that I don't want YouTube to just like, take this video down. I'm not worried about like the monetization side of things. I don't care about that. I know this video is going to get demonetized just because what we're talking about. I don't care about the money. But there's also other things where it's like, I don't know what I can actually just name without YouTube getting mad and taking my video down outright. So gotta be careful there. And also just like, like medications and pills and, pharmaceutical drugs. And thank the great Lord above, I have been able to recover from all of those addictions. When it comes to alcohol, I've been off of that for almost 5 years now. When it comes to like, the drugs and pills and everything, basically just 5 years in general, clean and sober from all of that other stuff. The one thing, however, that is held on is nicotine, which, to some extent, I would say is probably like, I don't want to underplay because like nicotine and cigarettes are obviously like really bad, which that's what I'm addicted to. That's what, I'm quitting is cigarettes. So that in comparison to a lot of the other things that I've been on in the past in terms of like withdrawals and just how bad they are for you. Yeah, this is probably going to be the lesser compared to those, but that doesn't mean it's going to be easy by any means. In fact, I can tell you right now at the time of recording this, I'm only 12 hours in without one. And yeah, I already feel like I'm about to just explode. But out of all my addictions, this is definitely the one that I've had for the longest. As I said at the beginning of this video, I have been on these for almost 10 years now, and, I was never the type of guy where, the whole vaping or juuling or whatever. I never did those. I was always just straight up tobacco, cigarettes, specifically menthol cigarettes. There was a while where I only smoked Reds, and then for a while, there was this one time where there was this time where, I was like, hey, I'll try out menthols, and by the time that I finished off that carton, I was like, oh shoot, I can't really smoke Reds, because for those that don't know, normal cigarettes, nicotine, all that, that's addictive to a certain extent, but then menthol cigarettes, there's like another layer of addiction there because of the menthol. So once you start doing that and you try to get off of those, you have a level of withdrawal from, just all the chemicals and nicotine and stuff in the cigarettes, but also then the menthol on top of it, so it's like, there's just like this whole thing. I guess now would probably be a good time to show some B-roll of like my rolling station over there. I don't even know why I haven't been throwing the boxes away. It's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, I'll throw it away at some point, but I guess I never got around to it. I have a bad habit of that sometimes. I'm just like, I kind of live out of my room, so sometimes I forget to clean things up. But yeah, even just looking at it from here, it's just, yeah, it's kind of disgusting, and it's crazy, right? Because that stuff, it's like, it's completely, when I'm recording these videos, it's literally just right off to the right. Anytime that I'm recording over my PC station, it's almost there in the background, but you can just barely see it, and it's one of those things where like nobody ever knew about it, just because, and again, it's sort of like my dirty little secret, I guess you could call it, but it's just, again, it's not something crazy like alcohol or some sort of other drugs or anything like that, but I mean, it's still an addiction, it's still terrible, it's still killing me at the end of the day. There's a lot of tricks and tactics that people try to do when it comes to quitting this sort of thing, right? You got the whole cutting back strategy, you got the whole gum strategy, you got the whole patch strategy. My strategy, cold turkey. It was one of those things where like yesterday I tried the whole cutting back thing, and it got to a point of where like I was spacing out the smokes so much that by the time I got to the final ones of the day, I was like, my body it was already like 7 hours in between cigarettes at that point by the time that I got to like my final ones, and I was just like, dude, I feel like sick, because like my body was already like detoxing from nicotine at that point, so I was already withdrawing all day as is. So by the time I lit up, I was like, dude, what's even the point of this, right? Like, you might as well just go cold turkey, get over with, and that's what I've done. Again, at this point, I'm like 12 hours at the time of recording this. I've also been documenting it, like every couple hours. I'll pull out my phone, open up Snapchat, because I'm one of those weird people where I don't even go to the camera app necessarily first thing. Like, whenever I'm trying to take a selfie or, just like record something quick, I go to Snapchat for some reason. Not really sure why. It's just one of those things where like the camera on Snapchat specifically makes my face like a little bit better, which if you see this face, yeah, it needs all help it can get. But I've just been opening it up and like, recording a video like, hey, this is how long it's been, this is the time, this is the date, this is how I'm feeling, and I have a couple things there. I'm not going to show any of those in the video. I'm going to wait until after I'm like in the clear a couple days from now. They say withdrawals last anywhere from like 3 to 4 days. It usually peaks within the first 3 to 4 days, and after that, they still hang on, but they kind of subside. So I'm just going to keep documenting the journey. I know the worst is yet to come, but it is what it is. It's one of those things where, I've always been a long-term type of person, right? Where like I'm always looking into the future. What are my goals? What's coming up? What am I working towards? And if there's pain involved, that goes even more so. Like when I broke my ankle a couple years ago and I was off my feet for almost a year, I was like, hey, the pain sucks now, the surgery sucks now, but it's for the long-term goal of like now, like 4 years in the future where, hey, I'm up and I'm walking again. So that's where I'm at with this. Like, right, like it sucks in the moment. Right now I'm trying to do a decent job of keeping my composure, but inside, yeah, I'm feeling a couple different emotions, feeling a couple different sorts of ways, but my eyes are, they're set on the future, and I'm working towards that, right? Because compared to a lot of other addictions, like I remember when I was withdrawing off alcohol, that took a very long time for me to finally like not only have the withdrawals go away, but also just for my body to like fully recover. And same thing with like some of the other things that I've done in the past, which again we're not going to be naming in this video, but the withdrawals last for a while. But something like nicotine is like, hey, I've been through worse things that have lasted longer. This will only be a couple of days. Just get through it with the goal of living a healthier, happier, cleaner, longer life. And, to have more money in my pocket and not stop smelling like garbage, just overall, like all the health benefits, all the benefits that come from stopping, there's just, it's literally, I remember I was scrolling through Reddit the one night, this was a couple months ago when I was first contemplating quitting, and it was like, here's 100 reasons why you should, or 100 reasons why you'll feel better once you get off of these dang things. And now there may be some skeptics watching this video like, hey, you still have all your stuff. You might be lying. You're gonna, finish editing this video, you're gonna talk all this stuff, then you're just gonna go light one up because you still have ways to do it. Well, no. In a little bit, we're going to cut to a different take where I'm going to be throwing everything away. That's not going to be happening just yet. I still got a little bit to blabber on about, but yeah. It's just funny because I'm looking over my rolling station. I remember I started rolling in the first place to save money because for years I smoked like store-boughts, right? I was usually my mains were like Marlboro and Newports. I would say my most purchased cigarettes were probably Newport Menthol, Newport Red I did do for a while, which yeah, those hit like a truck. Marlboro Red, and just straight up like plain Marlboro Menthol, which is probably like between Marlboro Red and Marlboro Menthol, those are definitely like some of the two most popular ones out there. I also had a phase with like L&M menthols for a little bit while. For some reason, after I moved to Florida, I was just actually no, it happened a little bit before I moved to Florida. That's right. I remember smoking them for a little while. I was like, dang, these things are actually pretty nice. Then once I came down to Florida, I just kind of did them full time because they were cheaper than some of the other ones down here, because that's when like prices were going up back during the whole thing in 2020. But then all that got to be too expensive, so then I started rolling my own, and then regardless, it's still one of those things where not only is it burning a hole in your lungs while you're doing it, but it's burning a hole in your pocket the whole time. And I don't have any desire to do it anymore. I don't have desire to waste money on it anymore. At this point, it's at that point where like I don't even know why I do it anymore, right? Like it's funny, right? The only reason that most smokers light up is to avoid withdrawals, or they do it because they're withdrawing or whatever in that minute, right? Like you do it to push off the withdrawals a little bit longer. Whereas in the long term, if you would just quit there and then, the withdrawals would technically be done so much sooner. Like when you think of it in the grand scheme of things, it's just, I don't know, it's kind of ironic how that works, right? It's like the whole balance in your mind where your mind's always going to go for the short-term fix over the long-term gain. I remember when I first got hooked too, it was towards the end of middle school, and yeah, if I could go back, there's a part of me that says I wish I could slap younger me, but at the same time, it's one of those things where it's like, hey, it happened, I'm living through it, and, I'm the type of guy where I believe that everything happens for a reason, every mistake happens for a reason, and there's always character growth and lessons to be learned no matter what the mistake is, no matter how big it is, no matter whatever it is. Just as I believe that all of my other addictions came and went, so then I could have the lifelong lesson of, hey, you really don't need that stuff, because I haven't touched anything since then. No drugs, no pills, haven't had a sip of alcohol, I've been completely clean ever since then. And I believe that the same thing is happening now with nicotine. And, originally before making this video, I was going to go a bit more in depth on some of the things that have happened with like some of my addictions and stuff. But I've been blabbing for a bit now, and I don't want to get too, crazy with this stuff. But the one thing I will say is that it's kind of in my genetics to be a bit of an addict. I'm not blaming, my genetics. Be like, well, it's in my genetics, so now that's my excuse. I'm gonna be an addict for the rest of my life, because no, that's no excuse. But when you combine all my various mental illnesses, whether that be, anxiety, depression, PTSD, the list goes on and on, right? There was a time where I was waking up with a bottle bottle, right? Alcohol, just wake up, drink. Oh, there we go. Now I finally feel better. Now I can finally take on the day. And it was pretty sad. I walk around with a bottle of Coke, but inside the bottle of Coke, it was actually Jack and Coke. And I was just an absolutely miserable wreck. And there was a lot of times where I was combining stuff. Whether that'd be like alcohol and pills, and then you combine all the cigarettes on top of it, smoking anywhere from 1 to 2. Heck, there were some times where I'd even go for like three plus packs in a day. And yeah, I never felt good after that. But with my addictions, yeah, I've hit some serious lows over the year. But again, it's one of those things where I'm glad that stuff happened, because now I can look back and be like, hey, I was kind of a POS back then. I treated everybody quite poorly. I treated myself poorly. I treated my body poorly. But again, since then I've recovered, and making these videos, most people would never even know that stuff about me, right? That I used to be hooked on all sorts of crazy stuff, but yeah, it's the reality. The way I see it, the past isn't what matters. What matters is that I'm here, I'm clean, and these are one last stinky stain, one last cancerous stain on my addictions, on my health. With all my blabbering out of the way, I think it's time that we cut to the second camera angle and throw this stuff away. And please do stick around, because at the end I have one last thing that I'd like to say to just everybody in general. Alright, time to throw this stuff away. Thank you to my beautiful mother for recording. So first we gotta get the stray bag of tobacco on the floor. Fix those. I had an emergency cigarette, but that is no more. It is broken. And then we had one emergency cigarette in there. That's going in there. Originally, I wasn't going to quit until I finished all my tubes, but that doesn't matter. Who cares about a few wasted dollars? It's better to have a longer life. That's like half a bag of tobacco. Bye-bye. More tobacco in bags. Trash. Roller. It's half broken anyway. Got some filters and stuff over here. I'll have to sweep them. That's all going in the trash. And all of these boxes. Look at all these gross cancer sticks. I can't believe I've ever smoked this many. But all this, go into the garbage if it all stay in the bag. It feels like I'm taking my life back. Or at least buying myself more time. There we go. It's all in there. And now, if you can follow me, I'd like to take this all outside. I only have socks on, but I'm too lazy to put my shoes on. And here's the bag. Big trash thing outside. I'm clean. I'm sorry if this video felt a little rambly, and I'm sorry if I've kind of been all over the place. It's just, that's kind of the, reality of making a video like this. It's all over the place, and I didn't want to rush through it. I know everybody's attention spans are less than a goldfish nowadays, but I don't really care. It's one of those things where I have stuff that I wanted to say, so rather than try to keep it short and sweet for the attention spans, I'd rather get out everything that I wanted to say and everything that I felt like people deserve to know. I post these videos on a daily basis. I say this all the time. I've been uploading for almost 4 years straight at this point, uploaded every single day. I have never missed a single day, and I never plan to miss a single day. Even when I die, I'll make sure that I have decades and decades of content stored up for you guys just in case. I don't know how I'd predict my death, but hey, I'll just, I'll make sure I got something for you guys. But seriously, it doesn't matter what it is in your life, right? Whether it be a prawn addiction, I can't say the real thing, otherwise, again, YouTube might take this video down, or, drugs, alcohol, cigarettes, nicotine, whatever it is, even if it's something else like a food addiction, a caffeine addiction, even if it's something else small, I don't know, just anything, whatever it is in your life. It doesn't even have to be an addiction. Just if there's something that you feel like you're looking at it and say, hey, I need to stop doing this. I need to get clean from this. It could be even something like a toxic relationship. If you're in a toxic relationship or marriage or a toxic family or something like that, and you need to get away from them, from the situation, if you're just whatever it is, if there is something that you need to improve about your life, I'm reaching my hand out to you. Please take my hand, join me, brothers and sisters out there in the world. Let's all stand together, take our lives back, and let's just do something amazing. Whether we do something amazing for ourselves, or whether even if it's not you, even if you know somebody in a certain situation where they need to fix an aspect about their life, or they're trying to change in some way, I just send this video to them and just tell them to skip to this portion of the video. Whatever it is that's going on in your life or somebody else's life that you can and you will do this. Don't give up. There is never an excuse or a reason to ever give up. There have been times where I have been homeless out on the streets, sleeping in -degree weather on park benches. I have been through so many different addictions as I've talked about throughout this video. It's been to the point where I've overdosed and I didn't even know if I was gonna live to the next morning. I've been so depressed to points where I was literally holding a gun to my head. I've tried intentionally overdosing multiple times. I've tried hanging myself before. I've been in mental hospitals for weeks on end just because I was so insane and bad that I couldn't stop from trying to end my own life. I have been so deep dark, down in the gutter, and just at the end of my rope so many times before, and yet I'm still here. I fought through everything. Right now I'm fighting back some tears. You almost heard it break it out right there, but I'm fighting it back. I'm holding it back. I have fought through all of this, and no matter, I don't know how I've gotten through all of this, why I've gotten through all of this, but I truly do believe that my purpose in life was to be here to create content for people, to entertain people, help people in some way. And I feel like in order to do that, maybe it was meant to be. Maybe I was meant to go through some of those messed up things. But my message to you is that no matter what you are going through, just know that in some form or fashion, even if I can't completely relate to you, even if I don't completely understand what you're going through, at the very least, I understand what it's like to struggle. I know what it's like to be at rock bottom. So even if our situations aren't the same, even if whatever doesn't exactly apply to you, just know that I can relate to feeling like garbage, and just know that you can get through this. Because you want to know what happened? I was running with all the wrong people. I was dealing with all these different addictions. I was just at the end of my rope, as I was saying. But guess what happened? I moved away from there, moved 1,000 miles away from there, and now, sure, the first couple years, they were still pretty rough, but over the course of the last 2 years, I've really gotten myself together. Again, I've been sober for almost 5 years, and now I'm literally living my dream. Ever since YouTube has been a thing, I've been creating content off and on since like 2008, 2009, something like that, but ever since it was like possible for YouTube to be a career, or that was like the flashy thing, like, hey, you could be a YouTuber, that's been like my dream. And guess what? I got my stuff together. I got my life together. I dropped all the negative people from my life, all my negative family, all my negative friends, everything. I've been single for 5 years at this point, and I'm just focused on me, my goals, what makes me happy, and guess what? I'm a full-time YouTuber now. I got my stuff together, and I did that for myself. I didn't need help from anybody else. If you think that you need help from anybody else, no, you are strong enough to do this. But at the same time, there's nothing wrong with accepting help. Acknowledging that you need help and accepting help actually means that you're stronger than you could ever know. Like having the courage and the strength to reach out and say, hey, I messed up. I need help. And whether it's going to rehab, getting therapy, that takes more strength than even I have, because never even I could do that. But regardless, whether you do that, whether you don't do that, just know that realistically, you don't need anybody. All you need is yourself. You can do this. It doesn't matter what your goal is, what you're trying to do. You can and you will do this. And not only will you get better in the end, but you will be better for it. Because again, after I got clean, I became a YouTuber, and now I'm living my dream, and I couldn't be happier. So I don't care who you are, where you've been, where you plan to go, no matter what it is, no matter what your goals are, you can do this, you will get better. And I hope that this video helps you realize that. And I don't know, I hope you see it through to the end, and just know that I'm rooting for you. You're stronger than you'll ever know. I believe in you. I love all of you. And yeah, all of us in this together, we can do this. Whether you reach out for help, whether you don't, no matter the circumstances, no matter what's going on, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. Just know you can do this. All right, now, I feel like I've gotten everything off my chest. I've been recording for a while now. I know a lot of this isn't even going to make it into the video, and that's all right. And I know most people probably clicked off a long time ago. And I know I've been rambling and running in circles with my thoughts, but that's just how it goes sometimes. There's a lot to say, and plus with the withdrawals, my mind's already racing as is, so if I repeated myself at all, I apologize. I'll try to edit some of that out, but there's only so much I can do. I think at this point, it's just a good point to wrap up the video. I said everything I needed to say, and just, well, one last thing, actually. If there's anything I could say, whether you're new to the channel, whether you've been watching for a while, whether you know me in real life, whether you don't, just whatever it is. If you're here right now, even if you're not here right now, if you're just somewhere out in the world, thank you. Not for anything in particular, not for watching the video. No, just thank you for being you. Thank you for being alive, because every human is unique. Every human is beautiful. And one of my favorite things about this world is just how unique and beautiful everybody is in their own way. So, for you being you, thank you. And remember, it's never a case of I can't do this. It's a case of you can do this, and you will do this. But anyway, as always, a massive shout out. Thank you to all the Patrons and channel members. Thank you to all of you in the low baller tier. New bigger shout out. Thank you to all of you in the mid baller tier. Mellow Last King, Big Daddy Maddie, and the bigger shout out. Thanks to all of you in the G tier. Ron Avenge, Someone Cheese Cool. Thank you guys so much. You guys are literal legends. I love you. Thank you guys for watching. Have an amazing day. Stay beautiful. I love you all. Peace.